Okay, so with number 2 here, we need to express 8 sine x plus 15 cos x in the form r sine x plus alpha. So again, just like the first one, you go to your formula booklet and you seek out this result. Okay, so you don't have to remember anything, just got to remember the procedure. And of course then your a just becomes x and your b becomes alpha, yeah? And you're going to choose the top option there because you want it to be plus as it is there, which means you choose the top option there. Okay, so you just got to remember then your a is x, your b is alpha. Okay, and then when you write this out in full, so we'll have r here, and then we're going to expand this in full, so we need to do square brackets. We'll have sine x cos then alpha plus cos x sine alpha. Okay, then on the next line, 8 sine x plus 15 cos x is equal to, so remember the approach, when you expand this out now, you just need to swap these around. So r cos alpha sine x plus r sine alpha cos x. Okay, so then we equate both sides, yeah? So you've got sine x here and you've got sine x here. So in front of it is 8. In front of the sine x here is r cos alpha. So r cos alpha equals 8. And the same thing here, then in front of the cos x is r sine alpha. And in front of the cos x is 15. Okay, so this is equation 1, equation 2. If you then divide, 2 divide by 1, you'll have r sine alpha divided by r cos alpha, and 15 then divided by 8. Okay, so I've just rewritten now 2 here, and I've rewritten 1 and then divided them. And what happens, of course, then is the r's will cancel, and you get tan alpha, because that's what sine over cos is, 15 over 8. And then that allows you to get alpha. So to get alpha then, you just do tan to the minus 1, you take the tan over. And of course, they just want the answer that's between 0 and 190, okay? So you do that and you get 61.9 degrees there, okay, when you type that in. Okay, 1 decimal place there is fine. So we've got alpha. Okay, now what you shouldn't do, as I mentioned before, is don't substitute that in now in there to get r out, because you won't get an accurate answer out, okay? You'll get a decimal out, and we need to keep, if it's not a whole number, we need to keep it as a surd, right? Okay, so in regards to that then, what you do is you rewrite 1 and 2, but you square them. Okay, so we'll do 1 squared and we'll do 2 squared. So let's just do that. So we've got r squared cos squared alpha equals to 8 squared. So that's all of 1 squared. 2 squared then will be r squared sine squared alpha, which will be 15 squared. Okay. And then we're going to add them, just like Pythagoras' theorem. So when I add them, this will be, so I'll have r, on this side I'll have r squared cos squared alpha plus r squared sine squared alpha. And on this side I have 8 squared plus 15 squared. Now here then I can factorize, okay, so I can have r squared as a common factor and have a bracket. So what do I times by r squared to get r squared cos squared? Well, that will be cos squared alpha. And what do I times r squared to get r squared sine squared alpha? Well, that'll be sine squared alpha. On this side then, work that out, you get 289. Cos squared plus sine squared in that bracket just becomes 1. So r squared will be 289, which means then r will be the square root of 289. And in this case, it comes out nicely to be exactly 17. Okay. And we're done there. Okay, obviously we take the positive root because they tell you in the question. So then to express, as I said, 8 sine x plus 15 cos x equals to, so remember we have to express it in this form. So it'll be 17 sine x plus 61.9.